Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome to our first episode of our Montreal Canadiens franchise mode. Yes, Montreal won the poll by quite a unanimous vote. It had like 26 votes. Next closest, I think, was like Detroit and stuff like that with like 18 or something. So yeah, Montreal won by a pretty big landslide based on the fact that there's a lot of Montreal Canadiens fans, at least the ones that subscribe to this channel, I guess. So anyways, let's get into it. So we're going to set it to a classic franchise mode. We're going to set it to GM SnipeNScore. Also, if you're new around here and you want to start watching this series, it's a good time. You should probably subscribe. I'm not normally asking for subscribers, but I would like to get to my goal by the end of the year, which is 1,000 subscribers. If I don't, it's not the biggest issue, but yeah, so we are going to do the Montreal Canadiens. As you can see, we're going to also actually have owner mode on this time around, which is something I've never had on in franchise mode on the entire time I've been on YouTube, I think. Last time I would have used it was in my own personal like franchise mode back in like NHL 17, so I haven't used it a whole lot. But as you can see, there's our budgets and all that stuff. Our owner personality likes spending, apparently. His importance of success is really high as well. We're not going to turn on firing, no, that's the one thing, because I don't want to be fired from this team. I'll probably get fired within a few seasons if that's the case. Patience as well, he doesn't have a lot of patience, so this owner seems like a told dick, but whatever. Our top players, obviously, Carey Price, Shea Weber, and Max Domi. Carey Price and Shea Weber both have horrific contracts, though, so that's going to be a bit of a bitch to move out, at least Shea Weber, I think. I know a lot of Habs fans like Shea Weber, but I don't think he's really worth his contract, to be honest. Seating capacity, 21,000. Age arena, 23. Concessions are only at a 1-star, so that's kind of weird because I think in real life, Montreal has the best concession food, is what I've heard. Team store is 2, parking lot is 1, and club seat is 1. Okay. So division realignment, we're just going to leave that the same. How good of an overall are we even? 87 overall, so we're not the worst team in our division by far. Like, we're the third best, technically, behind Toronto and Tampa Bay, which is kind of weird. I think it's probably because of Carey Price, but I don't think that team should be that high, to be honest. A lot of you guys know I'm not a huge Montreal Canadiens fan because I like the Sens, and I basically, since 2010, I haven't really been a huge fan of the Habs. Like, I like their history and whatnot, and I like the Koivu and like the Theodore era, but like, yeah, just no, it's not a team I like. Okay, so we're gonna turn off GM firing, head coach edit lines. You know what, we're gonna leave that on, but I might tweak it around a bit later. Fog of War, I'm gonna be actually turning off because I did a test run and I don't really like how you can't tell the overalls of other players' teams or other teams' players, and it's just, I don't know, it makes it a lot more difficult. So we're gonna turn that off. But if you guys, wait, it says to reveal these attributes, you must scale players. I think there's a way to actually make it to specific Fog of War attributes. So maybe we'll put it on for a second, see what that's like. So morale's gonna stay on. Auto owner mode's gonna be on, so that way all of our facilities get manually like adjusted and whatnot. Relocation, we'll just leave that. Auto sign free agents, no thank you. And auto coach management, this, no. I don't want the computer just to fire a coach for me, because I want to test out that new system. So rules and settings, let's see what we got here. Quick settings. So authentic cap penalties is good. Auto save on. CPU trades on. Difficulty doesn't really matter because we're not playing games. Trade difficulty to hard. Waivers on. Fog of War. Okay, so we want to show the overalls in the individual attributes. Player role as well. Wait, it's player type. Player role. Oh, that's like their first line stuff. Potential. You know what? Actually, we'll just leave it all on. Or all off. Because, like, I would rather know all the overalls for all the players and stuff like that. It's kind of a weird system. I like it, but I don't like it to an extent because it makes it a lot more difficult. But I like to know who I have on my team and whatnot, so without having to use NHL scouts. So auto scouting will only set to pro scouting because I'm gonna be getting rid of the pro scouts anyways eventually. I would like to do my manual scouting for the amateur teams like the QMJHL teams and whatnot. No, thank you. So that's good. What other settings do we got here? Anything else that we need to adjust? So these I want fully healed because I don't want players coming back when they're still half injured and they get re-injured. Sim engine scoring we will leave to medium because last time I tried medium it was really high up scoring still. I think high might be a little overboard, so I'm not going to test that out yet. Head coach firing pop-up, yes. I would like to know when head coaches get fired just in case we're looking for a coach at that point in time. Morale meetings. We're going to turn morale meetings off, but we'll have morale so that way, because like I don't really want to meet with players. Well, actually, it's for coaches as well. So you know what? We'll leave that on for now. I don't know if I could turn that off later, but we might not even save this GM mode, and then you guys could like tell me what you want for sliders and all that stuff for next episode, and then I'll just restart it or something. I don't know if there is any changes actually. So we'll set the injury occurrence down to, I didn't have injuries at all really at 10 this year, which is something that doesn't happen that much. So I'll just set it to 10 out of 100 because maybe they actually fixed the injury problem, and we'll see how that works out. I don't really fiddle around with any of the sliders other than that one. And yeah, that's pretty much that. So now let's get pretty much into our roster, our coaching staff, and all that stuff, so you guys can kind of get a feel for what we do. We'll also assign our scouts, I think, to where they're supposed to be. And yeah, you guys could let me know what you think about potential like moves we should make for this team to like kind of better them. I do know we do want to let go of like a lot of players' big contracts, but like right now this team is, if they're kind of close to getting into the playoffs, I think. If we just need to kind of maybe add a few more pieces and move out some pieces, like maybe get a better defensive core and whatnot. Okay, so let's take a look at those contracts. Also, sorry if my voice sounds crotchety. I woke up this morning and I was spitting out blood for some reason, and I just don't know why, which just sounds really unhealthy. So yeah, anyways, let's get into the main roster. So starting off with the centers here, we have Jonathan Drouin, who has medium elite potential, which I don't really agree with, but whatever. 85 overall and 24 years of age. He's signed for quite a few seasons. I don't mind keeping him around for a long time just because he is probably our point man on offense. Then we also have Philippe Deneau, who's definitely going to be a very good penalty killer for us. He's signed for 2 years. Okay. We also got Kotkaniemi, who's a low elite, and he's still on his minor league deal for 2 more years, which is good. Ryan Poehling as well, 2 years at 925, low top 6 forward. So these two guys are also part of our future for sure. Deneau might move out within a couple seasons, I don't know. Matthew Pekka, now this is a guy that shouldn't be even a bottom 6 forward. He should be like an AHL top 6 forward because he was a kind of a weird signing for the Habs. He's also somebody that I don't really want to play. Like, if we have to play him on the NHL team, that's not good. And also Nate Thompson. Both these guys are pretty bad, to be honest. And then in terms of left wingers, we have Max Domi, also a good piece. Medium top 6 forward, 86 overall. He had a really good season in real life, I think. I don't remember what his 18-19 stats were. So yeah, 72 points. So like Max Domi is definitely going to be a good piece for us. It's just I don't know how long we're going to keep him around. I probably would keep him around the same length as Drouin maybe, but he is an RFA at the end of this season. We also have Thomas Tatar, 84 overall, 28. That's not bad, but then he's signed for 2 years till he's 30, so we might let him go after that point. Paul Byron is another kind of good penalty killing guy. He's kind of signed a little bit too long term, like 4 years at 3.4. Or is that 4? Yeah, that's 4 years. I don't really like that contract, to be honest. Like, he's a serviceable player, but to sign him for 4 years when he's already 30 is a bit iffy. And then we have Arturi Lehkonen, who's not a bad, like, bottom 6 kind of forward guy either. He's on an RFA at the end of the 21-22 season. On to the right wingers, we got Brendan Gallagher, who's one of the guys I hate the most on this Habs team. No offense to you Habs fans, just because I know a lot of Habs fans will get mad about that. He signed for 2 years at a pretty good contract, and then his contract ends in the 21-22 season where he's a UFA. I don't know when we're going to bring back some players, but I know a lot of Habs fans would want to see him retire probably with Montreal. We also have Joel Armia, 2.6 for 2 years. Not too bad, but he's not the greatest player either. And then Dale Weiss is also pretty bad. Is he listed as a fourth liner? Yeah, he is. But he's probably another one of those guys I wouldn't mind like upgrading the position in. Defensively, we got Shea Weber, who, like I said, he's looking good, 87 overall, but he's 34 years old already, and he's got a contract for 3, 4, 5, 6, like 7 years at 7.86. Like, this guy's not going to play till 41, I don't think. So we definitely want to think about moving out his contract. Maybe not this season, but definitely like in the next few years, or else that's going to hurt us cap-wise. Jeff Petrie is another one of those contracts, 31 years old, but 2 years at 5.5, so his contract's a bit more manageable, but it's still a pretty steep price to pay. But he is a good player. 85 overall is actually way better than I was expecting him to be. And then the rest of our defensive core is a bit iffy. We got some good young guys, but like Ben Sherratt, 79 overall, 3.5 for 3 years is a bit, yeah, I don't know if he's worth 3.5 to be honest. Brett Kulak, 1.85 for the next 3 years. That's a pretty good contract for like a top 6 defenseman, so he might be some guy I keep around for a bit. Victor Mete's minor league contract comes to an end at the end of this season. He's got top 4 potential, so he'll probably grow after 1 year. And then he'll probably hop into the top 4, which means probably like we would move out Sherratt at that point in time, or actually Mete could always just play on the top 4 or something. Mike Riley's kind of an interesting one because he used to look like he was going to be nothing. Now he's like a top 6 defenseman in Montreal. 1.5 for 2 years. Not a bad contract, but like somebody that's not going to be like the greatest player. I know in real life I think he had a good season. 11 points, not bad, but I don't know if we're going to keep him around for long. And then Christian Folan's just kind of an extra defensive piece. Goalie-wise, obviously we got Carey Price, who's 91 overall, but he's 32 years old already, and look at this long-ass contract at $10.5 million. Like, yeah, it's worth it in a way because it's Carey Price, but like he's going to start probably declining within like a year or two, and then we're going to be paying 10.5 to like maybe a goaltender that's like an 85 overall or something. So I want him to obviously retire in Montreal just because of the fact that a lot of you guys would get pissed off if I traded Carey Price. But at the same time, it's just like that's going to be a very steep price to pay once he starts declining. We also got Keith Kincaid, who's another older goaltender. He's got a good cheap contract for 1 year, so pretty serviceable backup. And then Charlie Lindgren has not really panned out to be much of anything, unfortunately. He's gotten time to play in the NHL, but he's just not done anything really with it. And then in terms of our in the system, let's just take a look at all these guys based on overalls. So we got some good defensive prospects like Juleson. Ouellette's not that bad either. If we wanted Ouellette in the NHL, maybe we'd send down somebody instead. Juleson this year because he's listed as a top 6 defenseman. And then you got Carl Alsner, who's got a ridiculously bad contract for a minor league player. 3 years at 4.625, so that's definitely a contract we want to think about flipping out. You also got Charles Hudon, who could also play in the NHL player. 4th liner, apparently. Nick Cousins is down there. Like, there's tons of depth in this organization, it seems like, but a lot of these guys I don't really want to play in the NHL. Like, Jordan Wheel, he's in the AHL, looks like, currently. Yeah, he's in the AHL. He signed for 1.4 for 2 years, so there's a lot of weird contracts with this team, but there is some good like depth, it looks like. Like, we got some good potential prospects, like Nick Suzuki is a 72 overall. He's going to be a good top 6 forward in like a couple years. Yeah, this team has some good prospects. It's just a lot of them are meh, in my opinion. And then in terms of our goalie prospects in the minors, we only have Michael McNiven, so yeah, he's not really anything at all either. So we're probably going to have to find a goaltender prospect, obviously, to replace Price because Price is getting older. Unsigned guys, we got, is that Cole Fonstad his name? Yeah, Cole Fonstad. We got Cameron Hillis, I think, Alan McShane, who's not that bad. Harvey Pinard is not really anything. He was just signed as an overager, I think. No, he was a 7th round pick, but he was an overager. Yelonen's got top 6 potential, which is kind of interesting. So this guy should be potentially making it to our NHL team eventually. The son of Juha Ylonen, who was in my 1999 build, if you guys watched that. We also got Hood, Olofsson. Yeah, they have some good young prospects. It's just, at the same time, they don't really have anything in goalie potential-wise to take over for Price. So that's definitely something I think we should look for. I don't know what you guys think. So yeah, that's all the roster pretty much. Now let's take a look at like the draft class and all that sort of stuff. We'll also take a look at our coaching staff. We'll do that first actually. Coaching staff, and then we'll take a look at the draft class, and then we'll assign our scouts out. So here is our head coach for the season, which is a French guy, so that's pretty nice. So Emmanuel Leclerc. Okay. Emmanuel Leclerc, he's actually got a really good coaching statistic, so this guy might be a good coach for us to keep for the entire year. Let's see if he matches the system well or not. So he doesn't match our team that well, 58%. So in order to make this team better, I think we need to match like Emmanuel Leclerc's system better. Like nobody matches his system fully, so that's not a good sign. Like 58% isn't bad, but like I've seen coaches at like 60 something percent that do better. So I don't think we're gonna assimilate good with this coach, but who knows? So his offensive pressure is standard. 3-on-3 offense is aggressive. His forecheck is 2-3. Forecheck bias is balanced. Defensive pressure is normal. Defensive strategy is staggered. Neutral zone 1-2-2 red. His penalty kill is a passive box. His power play is an umbrella. Power play, carry, and dump is balanced. His forward ice time allocation is roll all 4 lines, and his defensive ice time allocation is roll all pairings. So the first line, apparently he has it set to behind the net, balanced, shoot, balanced, and balanced, while forward line number 2 is overload. That's weird that he has forward line and 1 is behind the net though. Huh. Interesting. And then he also has, like I was saying, for forward line 2, overload, balanced, efficient, and don't block shots. So the first line might block some shots. The third line is crash to net, balanced, cycle, balanced. And then the fourth line is overload, balanced, energy, and block. So the fourth line will block a lot of shots. Hold line and pinch. The first pairing is balanced. All of them are balanced, actually. So yeah, that is our coach. Kind of an interesting character. He looks like a typical Montreal Canadiens French head coach. His first name doesn't sound really French, Emmanuel, but Leclerc definitely does. So then we got our associate coach, Mr. Roger Scoville. Interesting. So he's more of a defensive coach. And we also have Mr. Steve Cato. He looks like almost like a Steve Kerr from the NBA almost. Okay, actually I didn't check what our head coach gets along with the best. So his best chemistry players are Domi, Riley, and Weber. So that means those are the 3 guys that the coach really likes and stuff like that. Weber might be a guy that we move out though, like I said, so that might hurt it a bit. We also got Viktor Mironov, who's our goaltender coach. Looks like a typical Russian guy. Here's his stats and whatnot. We also got our AHL coaches, Reed Benuriel. Not going to look at them really that much because I don't really care as much about the AHL coaches at the moment. We also got Felix Kaufman, Timofey Turakov. Yeah, that guy definitely looks like a Russian or like a Finnish guy. And then Leo Fischer. Interesting. Okay, so those are our coaches and our scouts. We have all these guys. Like I said, I might get rid of all the NHL scouts if you guys think I should. Like the NHL scouts, like these guys and like the AHL ones, just because like we don't really need them, the pro scouts. And then we could sign maybe doubles for all the like amateur leagues, because we do still need actually a couple scouts in here. So like USA East, Germany, those type of ideas. So we'll probably have to sign some of those. So actually, I didn't mean to go back. Let's actually hire some scouts. Let's get those two just so I don't forget. We probably will just leave it with this settings and whatnot. So we need USA East, and we need also a German scout just to get us prepared for next episode. Also, I'm using almost the last of my trials, so there probably won't be any more videos on this trial. So, but like I am getting the game on Tuesdays. So there's USA, and then we also need a German one, like I was saying. So Zhitnik, maybe. How is Zhitnik in Germany? A- isn't bad, but looking for an A+ if there is one out there. An A, that's not bad either. A-. A+, there you go. Tony Tervinen, there you go. Okay, so now the next thing to do is to assign these scouts. So let's just put them at fine prospects. Like right now, we're just gonna do a general scout out for any players. So we're gonna go for, let's go for 2 months at any player really, just so they could kind of find general players. And once we find players that are kind of better, we'll start scouting individually and whatnot. Just because I'm not used to doing manual scouting in this, just kind of do a general sweep of the entire league that these scouts are in. And then once we find out more about players, like I said, we'll narrow it down a bit, find some hopefully some good like gems and steals in the later rounds if there is any out there, because sometimes it's hard to find some. Like at least I think I've only found one gem so far in like my test run that I was doing. Also, sorry if this episode's running long. It's almost at the normal time, so okay, so yeah, we'll scout not specific players just yet. But obviously, if we miss the playoffs, and hopefully we have the #1 pick, because it would be kind of cool to bring in Alexis Lafreniere, being a French guy himself. And I'm not going to go to an extreme of making this a one where we only draft French players, because it would be kind of dumb. Even though there is a lot of players usually in the QMJHL. So I guess in the next episode, once we get those scouts in, we will assign them as well for like 4 weeks or 6 weeks or so. I'll also show you guys the draft class quickly, even though we don't know anything about them yet. We do know Lafreniere is a high elite, so... Okay, so there you go. All those guys are assigned, which is good. Now let's take a look at the draft class quickly, and then I think that will be it. Actually, I'll show you guys also free agents in case you guys want me to sign anybody. I'm probably not going to sign any free agents, but just in case. So we got Alexis Lafreniere, Alexander Holtz. There's also Anton Lundell, Quinton Byfield, Lucas Raymond, Corey Cooper, who's a generated guy. That's going to be interesting to see what he's like. We also got Cole Perfetti, Antonio Strange. I've never heard of this guy. Marco Rossi, I know him obviously. Artem Voinov. So there is some randomly generated guys in this first round, and then a lot of real life players. The scouts recommending us get those guys, but I don't know about taking in Jamie Drysdale. Depends where we draft, I guess, and all that stuff. But in case you guys wanted to see some of that. What's this guy's first name? Alan Gibbons. Okay. And yeah, let's see. What was the last thing? Oh yeah, I was going to show you guys free agents. But I probably won't sign a free agent, like I said. But if there is somebody that we could bring in, maybe I will. Like, I'm not going to sign somebody like Joe Thornton or Jake Gardner because it's cheap. I'm obviously not going to sign Nick Cromwell because he just retired in real life. But yeah, there is a lot of actually solid pieces in free agency. I just don't know if we're actually going to sign any of them. Because, I mean, this team, like, if they get a little bit better, we could make the playoffs, like I said. Like, Carey Price could make us a playoff team, potentially. So, yeah, anyways, guys, that is going to do it for this first episode of our Montreal Canadiens franchise mode. So, in the next episode, we will probably start up the Year 1 simulation. I might take Year 1 a bit slower than normal. So, we might go, like... maybe only halfway throughout the season, and just because I want to take the time to like get the scouting properly done, because I'm not really used to doing manual scouting, so I probably want to just like take it slow so we could scout anybody properly. And then also don't want it, like, if we have a really bad start to the season, like we go 2-20, then maybe I change up like the coaching staff and whatnot. Just like kind of take it slow with year number 1, and then year number 2 maybe will be a lot faster for that. So anyways, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next episode on Friday, I guess. Thanks for watching.